It's well, I go by Kathy. That's with a K. Last name was Graves, G as in George, R-A, V as in Victor, E-S.
Kathy, K-A-T-H-Y?
Yes.
Okay. And Gary, yourself?
Gary Graves, that's it. It's.
Just got to check. You never know.
I was in the service, they called me Go Graves because my initials were G-O-G.
Oh, that's good. You guys, if we could now, just start at the very beginning. This has been a tumultuous week for you. Can you tell me about how it all began this week?
It all began New Year's Eve.
No.
Yes, it did.
Was it? It was
New
Tuesday.
It was Tuesday and New Year's Eve. That was New
Oh.
Year's Eve.
You're right. That's when the officer came to the door.
Came to the door and said he had would like to talk to us. He had some news to tell us. He said his boss had sent him here, and he was very
Kind
and concerned. And we sat on the couch over there, and he stood there, and he said he'd be willing to do anything to help us if we needed any help. But he explained why he was here, why they sent him.
I collapsed. I just could.
And
Even though I knew why he was here, just to hear it was just, I wasn't prepared for that.
But when they said they were only 99% sure, I says, when are we going to get the 100%? He says, they will probably be calling you back tonight or tomorrow, which we didn't get it until yesterday. It was when we finally got the final thing from the sheriff. He came over to the house. He wanted to talk on the phone, and I says, no, I'd rather see you in person. So he came over and he talked to us and explained everything that went down and gave us all the information that he had from the state police and that, and said that once the coroner releases everything, then
We can bring him home.
we'll be able to bring him home. So right now, I guess he's at the coroner's office, either over in Grand Rapids or up in Rothbury, one or the other. I don't know where
It's
they
Grand
got him at.
Rapids.
So, and we're just waiting for the end to come so we can
Have some peace.
have some peace about this whole thing, because I mean,
We knew he didn't walk away.
yeah, we knew that didn't happen. We still can't believe that something didn't happen. They didn't get in a fight or something, because Kevin was he was a spry young man.
Everybody loved Kevin.
He was tough and he was rough.
What do you mean by that?
He was a strong little boy.
Yeah.
Very
Very
little,
well
hell,
met.
he was taller than I was, you know.
But he had a big heart.
Yeah, he did have a big heart.
And the relationship with his girlfriend, I guess, was okay, but I had a feeling this wasn't going to work out. Just because of her history. And I don't know if you probably heard about the fight they had. And there's more to it than that. We have witnesses that were like a camp away from Kevin's tent, and they were ridiculed. Well, he come back. This is kind of graphic, but he come back to the tent, and she was in the tent with a girl. She believed in group sex, and Kevin. Anyway, he said, "You promised you wouldn't do this," and he was crying. And her friends, or goonies, whatever you want to call it, surrounded him and were ridiculing him. And he was sobbing. And he walked away.
And that's the last anyone has ever seen of him,
Last everybody had ever seen from him.
as far as you know.
Well, there were a lot of phone calls we got from Mary Rude. "Oh, we've got your son. We want this much money." And we always say, "Well, send us a picture." and we went to the places where they say they saw him all over Rothbury.
It's Kleenex.
And the people in Rothbury were just so kind. You know, they gave us wristbands to get in and
The
let us
business,
put the posters up.
the business is on the corner there. There was a bar there in the corner, and there was a gas station. There was a hardware store, and everybody in that community right there, they were willing to do anything. We asked them if we could put up a flyer, and by all means they took it, and they kept the flyers up there. And last time we was up there, they still had our flyers up. So.
And they a lot of volunteers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's people up there come out and volunteered. I know there was a young man and his mother. They come out there every day and volunteered and went out and searched with us. And he walked through the swampy areas and walked right out of his shoes. And we offered to buy him some shoes, and he wouldn't take it. And he went and got his own shoes.
Do you guys know how many times was that area searched?
With us,
You guys, police,
well,
can you even
the state
count?
police did it supposedly. Well, they did, and numerous times with us. We used to go. Well, in the beginning, how many times did you go? The first couple of weeks.
We were going,
I had surgery, so I really couldn't go in the dirt.
but she did anyhow one time and got infected. And we had a
In the beginning,
rough
you went
time.
for like 2 weeks in
Beginning,
a row.
I mean, we went up every weekend, rain or shine. We went up there, you know, and it was get out there and do it, because that was the only way we were going to do things. And we just get out there. Everybody was a lot of my friends and family members, and everybody didn't care what the weather was like. They were willing to go and give us their help, and God bless them all, because they all stuck with us through thick and thin, friends and all.
And then it kind of died down. What Gary
With
and some
COVID.
relatives would go in, and COVID happened, and then we would go up every year. And when we put the billboard up, we had it up for 2 years, and it was facing the venue. And apparently that was bad PR. The CEO of Electric Forest came from Colorado and wanted to see what he could do. And I went in there with a list of wants. One of them was any cameras, and they had medical tents, but they couldn't show us because of privacy. And there was a couple other things I can't remember. And he said to us, he says, the only thing I can offer for you is to put his poster in the, well, I'll show him in a minute, the poster in the information booth, and that's all he would do.
I remember we spoke about this last time.
Yeah, and they banned us from the Electric Forest. They called the police and said we were disrupting, and then he left. The billboard really brought attention again out there, so I'm so glad we did that.
Yeah.
And now we couldn't think of anything else to do.
And the Billboard company, they were super people. They gave us a hell of a discount on it both times. And they left it up the first time
Well, we got 30 days.
past the 30-day period, because nobody rented it, so they left it up. But like I say, they were really good people to talk to. They were understanding and everything.
Yeah. We spoke in 2023. I remember that you were adamant about continuing to search the area, and you were receiving pushback. Now, all this time later, Kevin's body has been found in that area.
Yes.
How does that feel for you guys?
Feels terrible because feel it until I go to the spot where they found him. That'll give me the peace I need, because then I'll know how dumb I was not to see him.
You weren't dumb.
Because
They were very thorough. They searched that.
I mean,
It's like 2,000 acres.
it was swampy in there in areas, and
We
couldn't
even
get
looked
through
upon the
there.
highway.
And I have bad legs, so for me to try and go through there, all the guys were saying, "No, we'll go through there. You stay out here." You know, everybody was super people. I mean,
Yeah, we can't say enough. But
can't say enough about the people that helped us. I had a neighbor down the street here, didn't know my son from Adam. He went up with us
Yeah.
and searched and got poison ivy.
But right now, we're just kind of numb. The tears comes in waves. And I know Gary wants to go up there to find where he was found so he can ease his mind that maybe he missed that area. I don't want him to blame himself for not. And who knows if he did find him, what he would have found. But it
Yeah.
sure would have saved us 6.5 years.
What do you both believe happened to Kevin? Do you think he walked away?
I think he walked away, and I think
I don't know if somebody followed him and
did something.
hit him or anything like that. We won't know that until we get the coroner's report. Whether he had any.
Say,
I mean,
our hearts are broken. I have a big hole in my heart that will never be filled. I hate the word closure. I know people mean well, but like I say, it comes in waves and just can't seem to get past it. I know it's early. Maybe as time goes on, we'll have some peace. Now that he's been found, we want to know what happened, if we'll ever find out.
Can you explain for me, why do you hate the word closure and that everyone keeps saying it?
Because it put such a finality on it. And closure means that, to me, means that you cut everything off. Like I say, it's never gonna go away. I know time heals, but right now, it just seems so final, that word. That's all I can explain it. It doesn't seem to bother him so much, but I know people mean well.
Yeah. Were you still holding out hope that Kevin was alive and would come
yes.
home?
Yes, definitely. Like I say, we were just Saturday, her and I were sitting here and saying, boy, it sure would be nice. He walked up the driveway. It really ended this year. And then 2 days later, we get this.
It was 6 years and 6 months to the day that it happened, that he was found. And it just seems so funny that happened right after the documentary aired.
Yeah.
Because they did it earlier because of the circumstances.
Have investigators told you, this might be too technical of a question, so just let me know, because it's been like 6 years, will the autopsy be able to show blunt force trauma or anything in his
Yes.
system? It will?
Well, they can look at the skull and the remains, and
Okay.
I don't know what's involved, but a lot of the time, animals have gotten to it, and
There's
we
a
just
lot
don't know until we hear from the coroner,
Do you
which
know?
takes about 60 days.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
It'll be about another 60 days before we get the the final answer from the coroner, that's when they'll release him.
Something was funny to us. I get that in my gut.
You
I
brought
know
up
he was upset because we've talked to the witnesses of how they treated Kevin, and it's just too many unanswered questions. Because he's not one to just leave his family. So we haven't given up hope. We still haven't, as far as finding some answers. We always said we wanted answers.
We asked to get records from Oakland County, and this is what we got. I run it off on my...
There was nothing.
Everything's blacked out.
He claims he has 300 pages in his
You're
report.
welcome to look at that.
Thank you.
Take it with you. I don't care.
No.
It's just been so hard. I mean, trying to understand it. And like I say, the things we found there, searching, there was so much stuff that, I mean, he kept good records of his search teams and what we did.
And we even interviewed his girlfriend and his girlfriend's father. And she was kind of helpful in the beginning. And then we started asking more questions, and she cut us right off. Sit back, honey. I can't see. There's some pictures of them. And anyway, when it happened, she's the one who called us. And she made the report in Highland because she thought that's where he lived. Because he lived there. So they took the report. But she went up there, came back, get her dad. And that's a 3.5-hour drive. Went all the way back. Why would they do that? To finish looking for him? I don't know. A lot of things just don't sit right with us.
See, this is some of the stuff we found out there.
Is any of it his or
No, we don't.
just different
Driver's
items?
license of people, lots of driver's license.
But nothing of Kevin.
Nothing of Kevin's was ever found.
And what really bothers us also is his phone was in his girlfriend's mother's name. And they could have easily pinged it, gone through the texts, and she refused. I don't know why they couldn't do it, get a
I don't know why they
warrant
couldn't
or-
have got a warrant, in Oakland County.
Yeah, that is odd.
And
They
she
should have been
she
able
was
to.
had 2 lie detector tests and she passed. But I don't put any merit in that because courts won't accept that, and I don't believe in them. But that's what the sergeant said, and so that's about it.
For 6 years, so many people have been invested in Kevin's story and thinking of both of you. What would you want all of those people to know now?
We thank them for all their help and all their
We can never thank them enough.
condolences and everything else that they've given us. And like I say, phone's been ringing for the last 3 days. People are
People
calling
that
us.
went out with us, they were so kind and held hope out also. Everybody wanted Kevin to come home. But that's what we'd like them to know. We just can't ever thank them enough. Because they were instrumental, the media was instrumental on keeping Kevin's story out there. I just didn't want people to forget about him. Not to say there's not a lot of other people going through the same thing. But that's all I can say about them. the strangers that came through, the volunteers,
Yeah.
even the media, they were good about not being too pushy, but they kept the story out.
My other son, he had talked to Channel 7 from Detroit out there on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
He did an interview with one of the ladies there. I don't know who it was.
Somebody at the festival or a
But-
neighbor.
Because we spent about 4 days up there, 5 days by ourselves, just going around and trying to find things. Stayed at a motel there, and we never, we didn't give up, but we just kept looking, you know, and he got a hold of somebody, and that's how we did an interview over the phone. We sat in a parking lot.
Mm.
I don't know whatever happened to that. He's been calling me the last few days, wanting to know about doing an interview and that, and I told him I'm not ready until I get a little bit more. And that's when I told you, yeah, I'll give you an
Thank
interview
you.
because I remember how good you were before with me.
Thank you, guys.
So-
I appreciate that a lot.
It was, it meant a lot.
He's really
And the
Shaken
people
up.
out there, the news media out there, they were super people too. I mean,
Mhm.
they were right up there tromping in the brush with us, and
Yeah.
they were all good. Everybody, you couldn't ask for.
nicer people. We did get a call from somebody. I don't remember what station. He was rather rude. He kept pushing for an interview, and at that time it was the day we found out. And then he says, "Well, is there any other family that would want to talk to us?" And I says, "No, not at this time."
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that was kind of rude and intrusive.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was just the only negative.
Unfortunately, I think it was her station.
Oh, was it Randy?
No.
Oh,
No, I don't think it was Randy.
that's
I
the
can't
only
remember
person
the
I
name.
would know who called. Well, I'm glad it wasn't Randy because he is a nice person. Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
Did officers share with you any photos of where he was found?
No.
No, they wouldn't do that
Yeah.
yet. They
I bet
told
you
us.
guys, are probably itching to.
I'm itching to go up there, and my son, he says, as soon as we can find out, I want to go up there. And I says, I agree with you.
They're going to get us a map, like we said, and pinpoint.
Okay.
Because it wasn't, it was still on the, it wasn't at the edge of the JJ Ranch. It wasn't on the private property.
Oh, it was at the Double J. It was at the Double J this fall.
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that.
Mm-hmm. They go up there every year. I was thinking of you guys, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. Because,
Before all this happened.
well, because I had already interviewed you guys and I knew your story, and I was just kind of thinking about it while I was there. I think we're good, Anjay. Unless, is there anything I didn't ask you guys that you really want to say?
I think we pretty much covered it.
Yeah.
We're still asking for prayers.
Okay.
And even the calls are very helpful and thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still sure they won't forget about Kevin now.
Yes.
Because everybody loved Kevin. I'm not just saying that because he's my son.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny, my niece, he loved Oreo pie.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to make that every Christmas. So she's going to carry on that tradition, which is kind of sweet.
That is very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Thanksgiving, the first couple of Thanksgiving were rough. Because it was Kevin's idea to hold hands
Mm-hmm.
and go around and say what we were thankful for. And it was his idea, and he would always initiate, the prayers and the thoughts. And So that was,
He was a
the
good-
holidays were hard.
He was a good kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
Sounds like
did
it.
hook up with the wrong people. He wasn't good at picking out his associates. Didn't always make the right decisions. But,
Who does?
so,
He did end up where he was working at Precision Coating. He had a lot of friends there, and he worked there for a few years.
he was doing well.
And he was doing very well. They liked him. When this happened, they offered to help in any way they could.
And they said he'd always have a job
Yeah.
if he ever came back, which was nice to hear.
It means a lot.
Yeah.
It would have been really great.
Yeah.
Must have been really great.
And he has a room downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
But he had met this Kayla, and he says, Mom, I'm too old. I can't live with my parents. I says, I understand. And then, of course, he met Kayla, and they were together.
Before we go, could we take a look at some of the photos in the
Sure,
album
you
of
can
him?
look at
Just
anything
one question:
there.
was it the first time he went for this kind of
Yeah.
event?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was his first time.
First time he ever did it.
And he was excited. And like I said, I told him to have a good time and be careful. I
Yeah.
wish now I could still see him getting in the car with her. I wish I'd run out there and give him a bigger hug. You know, and sometimes,
I just got through fixing the car up for him so they could go. You know, because I'm a mechanic, and
Yeah.
even though I'm retired, I went through the car and fixed it all up because the air conditioner didn't work and this didn't work. She just had a new engine put in it. They couldn't get it to stop overheating, and all it was a bubble in the cooling system, and they brought it over. I went and picked it up. We brought it over here, and I checked it out and found out what it was and fixed that, fixed the cooling system, fixed the AC. And then,
now, like I say, every morning, well, not every morning, but I'll go sit on the stoop there into the garage and have the door open. And I'm just so sad because I just picture him walking up to me. Everybody says, well, don't sit out there then. And it's just, I couldn't help myself. You know,
Every
'cause that's the
morning?
last time I saw him was in the driveway.
Oh my
And so that's hard.
So right out there on the stoop, you'll sit there and
And you can see out, it's in the garage, but you can see out to the driveway. So maybe that helped me. I don't know. We've even been to psychics. I mean,
did
we
the
just didn't
psychics
know
tell
what
you
else to
anything
do.
helpful?
Pardon me?
Did the psychics tell you anything
Yeah.
helpful? Oh, really?
I did find a good one. She says he's still up there. He's no longer with us. And I wanted to know if I would find him before we passed. She says, yes, you will. And she said, you know, of course, I don't know how accurate it is, but she said he was hit on the head with a rock. Maybe not intentionally for them to hurt him, but like I say, they were all ridiculing him. And she said he was moved twice. So that's what we went on when we went up to one of the searches. We went to the area she described, and we didn't find anything. We found the rock that she described pretty in detail. So that kind of gave me some preparation. I mean, I didn't put a lot of validity on it. But we even called the detective in the beginning. And he told us, you know, there's nothing I can do that the police have done. So he wasn't willing to help us.
Yeah. Anjay, and I apologize because now I just have to keep moving a bit if we're gonna,
Sure.
get this on TV on time. Do you think we could take some video of some of the photos?
Let me find the poll. Do you have a picture of